Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
I'm also joined...
Sorry, that was a really weird hello.
Yeah, no, that was a really weird hello.
Was it?
Yeah, you were like, hello!
I was startled. It's early.
Evidently you were startled. But yes, hello, Drummer Matt.
Hello.
Hello, how are you lovely gentlemen today?
I'm alright. How are you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm well. It's starting to be warm. I'm in a vest already, so that's happening.
That's awesome.
Is it a string vest? Are you wearing a hanky on your head that's got a knot in each corner?
I'm gonna say yes just for your image, but no, sorry.
No, that's for his sexual gratification.
I mean, it does arouse me fully to know that that's the case, even fictionally.
Good to know. How are you, Snipe?
I'm fine. I kind of want an escape button from this conversation, though.
Yeah, that was what I was doing with the asking you how you were, to be honest.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, to start off, we've got a bit of general news about the channel and stuff.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it on all of the
everywhere,
media.
I think I saw it about 4 times.
I told an old lady at the bus stop, and she was like, "Shit, okay." And then she told, it's kind of like a Chinese telephone kind of thing going on.
We put it everywhere so that it would be seen, But yeah, we're cutting back on Snipe and Wib Play, the series. So rather than being 4 a month, every week, really.
4 every week.
Well, I mean, there's 4
One
a month,
per week.
But that doesn't line up perfectly with months, so,
yeah.
There's 1 a week.
PCM.
We're going down from 1 a week to 1 a month. Because we're burnt out and stressed and...
I've not been fantastic mental health-wise. It's been pretty tricky, actually. I'll probably survive. That sounds really dodgy. I was being facetious, don't worry. But yeah, I'll be fine. It's just, having a real fucking rough patch right now, so that kind of a thing is a bit too emotionally stressful for me. So we're just going to do that for a bit. And that means we'll be able to put more editing time and probably record for longer in the monthly Snipe and Wib plays we do.
Yeah, so we can put a bit more effort into the stuff that does go on the channel. There'll just be a bit less of it.
Yeah.
But it will mean that we are going to try and get out at least 1 scripted thing a month, which is something we've wanted to do for a while.
Yeah.
And we were close. We were the closest we've ever been to that last year because we had 8 scripted videos in the whole year.
It's pretty heckin' good.
But yeah, we're going to try and get those out much more consistently. The next one is mostly written, so that is good.
I think it's good.
So hopefully that will be out in I guess at this point it'll be out in 3 weeks, I guess.
Maybe?
In theory.
Yeah. In theory.
Maybe earlier. Who knows? We're trying new things, so who knows?
We're going to be working hard, though.
But not too hard.
Not too hard, because I'll just explode.
You can work hard, but you just don't have to work hard every day.
Yes.
You can have a weekend.
No, weekends are for the week.
Ends.
That is a joke. Everyone should take time for themselves.
I hate this millennial thing of you're not doing well unless you're literally going bald from stress and working yourself to death.
Yeah, no, it's bullshit.
So we're trying to unravel from that and actually have fucking days off.
Yeah, good. I'm very glad for you.
Yeah, unfortunately we all have internalized damage from the fact we live in a horrifying economic model. Wow. Let us move
quick.
on.
Okay. All right.
Let's move on to happier things.
Okay.
Anyway, Snipe, what have you been up to?
Well, Drummer Butt, I've been up to precisely fuck all. I've been leveling a Void Elf.
Okay.
From 0 to 100 because that's...
Is that in the world of the Warcraft?
That's in the worlds of Warcraft, yes.
The Warcraft.
The WoW craft. Been enjoying that. It's just That's what I do when I'm having a rough patch. I tend to either level a new character or just pick an arbitrary goal in WoW and just fucking, like, tear ass towards it. Like, I'm gonna get exalted with this fucking faction that everyone's forgotten is in the game. Yes, they have wiggly mounts. That's fine.
In fairness, that's literally what I used to do all the time when I played WoW.
That's why I got the insane title, is because that's when I had my nervous breakdown. And I was like, fuck it. And I spent like a year doing that. It was actually pretty therapeutic. Because I had to level a character to like 1 to 90 as well. Just because I didn't have a human rogue. So.
Because they get perks.
Humans get like a plus like 10% reputation bonus. And also you had to have a rogue. Because there were like lock boxes that you needed to farm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that for a long, long time, and yeah, that's what self-care looks like for me. But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that. I'm really enjoying the kind of, like, what's the word, warfronts and stuff like that, which is basically just, how do we make Wowcraft and RTS kind of thing again? So it's like a big instance where you have, like, 20, 30 people. Well, it's about 20 people, I think. And you just build a base and go out in raiding parties and collect like metal and stone, it's like iron and wood. So you can, and then like you go and put your wood and like metal into your big civic building, and then it gets better, and you have more things you can build.
So you're just constructing buildings from resources.
Yeah, or you can just go out in a raiding party. It's literally up to you. It's there's one of them that's in Arathi, where with my rogue, because you can collect wood while stealth, so I literally just go around the entire map collecting wood, because that's the hardest resource to farm in that one, and then just come back and just like basically like, you know, the holla kind of like, you pile of bills in the hand and you just flick out all those notes. I'm doing that but with planks of wood because I'm very strong.
So probably concussing a lot of people.
Hey, it's with copious resources, and I've just been doing that, and that's a lot of fun. And kind of like dabbling with roleplay again, which is again a lot of fun. But yeah, that's like the only other game I've been playing apart from Far Cry 5.
Oh, okay.
Which my brother got me because he is the best brother. And been playing that with Longfang on the Thursday streams.
You've been fishing.
Yeah, that's Longfang's fault. Because like, he streams on his own. There's fishing in Far Cry 5.
Okay.
Where you just like sit there and you just fish. And it's surprisingly relaxing, but like every 5 minutes you get strafed by a racist biplane. Because like... I'm not even joking.
I know, that's the thing. I know that's true, but every time I'm reminded that that's a thing, it just cracks me up.
You'll just be happily fishing, and then you'll get I see you down there, and then they start strafing you. Because I have basically a 50 cal on me at every fucking, like, it's a really ugly Far Cry Blood Dragon, like neon pink and blue, like 50 cal rifle. I just pop the pilot and then just kind of take a few steps to the left so it doesn't land on me, and then just continue fishing around the flaming wreckage. It's pretty fun.
But what are your thoughts on the game overall? My guess is you're going to say, fine, I guess.
It's fine. That's the thing. It's okay. The main character, because like if you don't know, the main things takes place in a place called Hope County, where some crazy religious extremist guy has just carved out a part of America for himself and his cult. And you basically, it starts off very Outlast 2 in the way that you go down in a helicopter and you got to go arrest him because he's a fucking despot.
Is there less cocks than Outlast?
I haven't seen a wiener yet.
Ubisoft are cowards.
They're cowards. I'd like to see a wiener.
One day.
Maybe not in Far Cry 5, but just in general, I think, one day.
Well, dear.
Can you help me with this? The internet. No. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so many dick pics. I don't want pictures of wee-wees, but thank you. Wiener dogs, however, send me so many pictures of those darling little sausages because they are the cutest little boys. But yeah, no, it's a story
but not dog
mode.
wieners.
Not dog wieners.
Important difference.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, story I could not give less of a fuck about, because honestly, since Far Cry 3, the stories have just gotten worse and worse.
Well, they've been desperately trying to recapture Far Cry
Thus.
3. Yeah, they basically want every game to be what the first half of Far Cry 3 was.
Yeah, and they just can't do like Pagan Min was a really transparent attempt at making Thus, and
he
it
was the most transparent one, yeah.
That was pretty cringy. As much as I hate using that word, it was just like, just look, you can't do it. It's like trying to copy Heath Ledger's Joker. Just don't.
Yeah, just do something else different.
Just do something. It's like that's why I don't really hate Jared Leto Joker as much as like I think a lot of people do. I mean, I fucking hate Jared Leto so goddamn much. He's disgusting. But like the Joker that they had there is like, well, you know what? At least you didn't copy Ledger's Joker. I say that's a point in the win column.
I wonder if that's why they did what they did with the character. Was
because can't follow that
because they were like, okay, we have this thing that like I know not everyone is the hugest fan of the Heath Ledger Joker, and I think it has been a bit overplayed.
Yeah, I think people went a bit too far.
Yeah, we've seen it everywhere now, but it was a very iconic interpretation.
I think it was
of the Joker,
a very shocking and out of nowhere, and I think that's why it had such a good impact. Is because that's why I think Vass was such a powerful character and such an intimidating presence, is because he had such a strong personality and he kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, no, basically people's expectations for Far Cry 3 were pretty low because, well, the Far Cry series had always been okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that's about as much as anyone could say about it.
But yeah, I digress. So, like, they just kind of made a religious, like, alt-right extremist as the main villain, and, like, you barely really see him. And, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I kind of, like, I get really angry about cults, like religious cults and stuff like that. They fucking drive me nuts. Like, that's one of my 0 to 100 anger buttons.
Yeah.
And I like it because I can fuck them up. You know what I mean? I can, like, go blow up one of their fucking, like, guard towers or whatever, But, like, they've changed a lot of things. Like, the whole crafting isn't really there. You literally just skin animals and then sell the skin, and it's like, oh, okay. I always really liked that about Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, is that, you know, you had to go hunting and, you know, collect materials so that you could, like, oh, you gotta get this special bear skin if you want to get this, like, this sniper rifle ammo pouch. And I thought that was really cool, and, like, herbs and stuff like that, I've not really bothered using them because I just don't care. You can create a character in this one, but it's pretty woeful and you don't have many choices, and it does have like fucking microtransactions and shit in it because it's Ubisoft and they can't goddamn help themselves. It keeps giving me like, oh, here are your silver bars, and I'm like, I don't fucking want them.
I don't give a fuck.
Don't give a bloody fuck. Yeah, basically.
I guess being set in the States, like, you don't need to craft stuff because you can just go to Walmart to buy all your guns or whatever. So,
you can go to like any store at all, as far as I'm aware.
You just find them on the ground.
Yeah, they just grow in trees.
Like, you just trip over the dead.
Oh, look, it's a gun bush.
Oh shit, a Scar H. Might as well. But yeah, no. But yeah, no, it's fine. That's the thing. It's like, again, the story could not give less of a fuck about. But like, you get like animal companions, which I think is a thing they kind of held over from Primal.
Yeah, I think Primal was the first thing to do that.
But yeah, you can get a doggo called Boomer.
Is he like the default one?
He's like the default one, and he's like a super cute boy. And I think he can like finish off enemies on the ground. You can also get Longfang's favorite companion, which is Cheeseburger, who is a fucking brown bear.
Cheeseburger is a fantastic name for a bear.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's great.
The best thing is that there is literally a button to pet these animals.
Pet a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I pet a cheeseburger today, and it was awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we were fishing and Longfang, because he's completed the game. And I've really just only played it on stream because it's fun to play with friends. And he called Cheeseburger, and I just started fussing over him. And like, you just give him good pets, and then they lick your face and snuggle up to you and stuff. And I'm like, oh. And you can get a mountain lion called Peaches, and she's a nice girl. And you can just pet other people's hunting dogs as well. Like, you can just go up and just pet their dogs.
What? They're like NPCs with dogs?
Yeah, they're like NPCs with dogs. They're like NPC hunters wandering around. They're basically portable shops. so you can go and just sell your shit to them.
But mostly pet their dogs.
You just pet their dogs.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
and
good,
it's
good.
awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, so I've been quite enjoying that, but the thing is, I can't recommend it solely on single player kind of basis because I haven't really played it single player I don't fucking care to.
You've just been going on and fishing on stream and petting bears.
Yeah, and if you want to fish and pet bears and occasionally get strafed by racists in biplanes, I can recommend it.
Are there actually biplanes? Because the only ones I've seen have been like World War II era fighters.
That's yeah. There's a Spitfire in there, I think, actually. So yeah, ignore my biplanes. So like, if you want to get strafed by World War II planes, which I remember somebody was going, that's just unrealistic, and it's like, it's really not.
No, America.
That's very quiet. That's very realistic.
There's loads of reconditioned, World War II.
There's going to be like
planes.
a bunch of private collectors and things like this. So it's like, it's not. I wouldn't think they'd be super uncommon in people who say own a lot of land or whatever to have like just an old kind of plane if that's what they're into.
Yeah, like there are a lot of like private collectors in America who do maintain like things. I think when they do a lot of air shows and things like showing off World War II planes, quite a lot of the planes that are still maintained are kept by private collectors and they just bring them all in.
Yeah.
I might be making that up, but that's a vague memory I have.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, and like, it's... Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
What else have I been up to? Oh, I've watched a couple of spooky things.
Spooky things?
Yeah, and there's like a Netflix series called Nightflyers, which is based on a George R. R. Martin story.
Oh, okay.
That was published in 1980, made into a movie in 87 or 6, and now they've just done, like, a Netflix season about it, a Netflix series, which, that in mind, makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of things there where you're like, ugh.
You've seen it all before.
Seen this shit before, and it's like, yeah, but at the time in 1980, this is probably quite impressive. Just little elements of the story. Like, genetically engineered people and people who have, like, gene modifications.
I will say...
And there's, like, a navigator woman in there who has, like, a plug in her arm that she can plug into the nav systems and just the general systems of the ship.
I will say there was a few things where, like, when you were first started watching it, I was like, what's this called? And I went and searched it on Wikipedia, and I was like, okay, that explains it. Looking at the date, because I'm like, yeah, things like, 40k and the like. I'm like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a few
there was some influence
soft influences in here.
Yeah, as we're saying soft influence of this influencing the people who wrote 40k.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yes.
But yeah, I've gotten a good few episodes in. Trying to figure out how to not spoil much. Basically they get a crew together, the main character guy, because he wants to, because Earth is dying and they want to go and make contact with an alien race that seemingly has, like, renewable energy, or, like, really good kind of, like, ways of making, like, clean, healthy energy, like, that kind of thing. So they're trying to, like, they chartered this spacecraft to kind of go and intercept them so they can meet up with them. The problem is that these creatures won't communicate with people at all. Like, they just won't really mingle with humanity whatsoever, and all I've got to say is fucking smart choice. We're fucking garbage. And so the Doctor, he brings what's referred to as an L1 on board, which is a telepathic human. And these people are treated like very, very dangerous animals, which is like, you think about it and go, yeah, they probably would be, because like you see the guy in like a fucking like inch thick steel cube, like little like bedroom that they just kind of move him around in, and they keep him under sedation because he's dangerous and all this kind of stuff, and like if he's like a bit out of it, he can look at you and really fuck with your head, because it's like, I think one of the women, like his handler, is like, oh, that's just a psychic feedback loop. It's like, yeah, you could say that, but this person is bleeding from the eyes and nose. I would say it's the way it starts kind of pisses me off, and I don't like the way they do, like when people do this with their movies, where they'll have like, so like this is not even a spoiler. It's like, it starts as the L1's handler woman running from another member of the crew with a fucking axe. So he's basically hunting her down to kill her, and she's like, oh, this is a distress call, oh my god, and then she, they both die. And it's like, okay, I hate when you do that. I hate when fucking movies and anything does that. Because it's like, well...
It's a TV series, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a TV series. But yeah, I don't like that when that happens, because it's like, wow, okay, I've just had that fucking... Why should I care about these two characters now? I mean, I do, I really like this one guy called Rowan, who's like, I think he's really cool. He's like, he's a handsome, thick boy. And there's quite a lot of diverse body types in this, and I love it. It's so good. And like this, my two favorite characters are Mal and Rowan, and they're just great. I need more of them. And like there's like a couple of things, like there's like a lesbian relationship at one point where you'd sit there and you kind of go, this would have been fucking shocking in 1980.
I wonder
but it's
if...
so kind of like normal now, but I'm wondering if like...
Are those elements that were in the original book, or have they been...
I don't know.
Added? I do know, because when I was looking this up, when you were first watching it, and I wanted to know how old it was, I know that one way that you can... Because there was an original, like a short story, like a novella, and then that was expanded.
Yeah.
And the way you can tell if something's based on the original like novella or the expanded version is the names, because the names were changed.
Oh,
so
were they?
the movie that came out in the 80s is based on the shorter version, and you can tell because the characters all have the original names. I don't know if this version is based on the expanded version or the shorter version. So
I'm just judging it on its own. But yeah, and like weird stuff starts happening like on the like present time instead of the flash forward, and it's like it's very obviously not the telepathic guy. It's like he's doing a couple of weird things, but like it's obvious something fucky is afoot, and like it doesn't do the George R. R. Martin thing of just like everybody's dead by episode 2, which is honestly refreshing. Because after Game of Thrones, it was interesting to begin with, and then it was just like, well, it's kind of a gimmick now, ain't it?
The problem with Game of Thrones was that the first handful of seasons of it, it was shocking to have characters die that seemed important. But as you watched it for an extended period of time, you started understanding what characters were in danger and what characters weren't, and especially some characters, because... like, say, characters that were off doing their own thing for several seasons. Mm-hmm. Every time they were in danger, you're like, well, they're not really in danger because this story thread can't end here, because then we would have wasted hours of our time following them. It wouldn't have just been hours of the viewer's time, but it would have been hundreds and hundreds of hours of the production time, and that's just not going to happen. It's like once you understood how the series functioned, how those things work, then the deaths stopped being shocking because you understood who was up for the chop, you know?
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting. If you can kind of get your head in the old, this is old from the 1980s kind of thing, then yeah.
You know, so it would be. I imagine it's a little like. Did you ever watch John Carter the movie?
No. I think you mean Princess fucking Mars or whatever.
That's what the book is originally called, and it's like fucking ancient.
And because I know that makes me intelligent. You have to give me respect.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just acting like an internet person.
Yeah. But yeah, the original book is like, what's his name? It's the guy that wrote Tarzan that wrote it, so it's that old.
George R. R. Martin.
Kipling?
I don't think so. Oh, anyway, fuck, that's going to bother me.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the same guy, if I remember rightly. And so this is like a really old story. But when they made a movie, like 10 years ago or something, it seemed so derivative because so many stories have been based on or inspired by the original story that when you finally see the original story, you're like, well, I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
Even though that's the originator of it. Also, John Carter, which is a terrible name for it. It was originally going to be called John Carter of Mars.
I think that's way better, but that still sounds really old.
Yeah, well, the original name of the book's Princess of Mars, and they didn't want to call it that because it would...
Princesses are lame!
Because, well, they didn't want to call it that because we live in a hellscape where if you put the word princess in the title, then everyone assumes it's for girls. But they just called it John Carter, and so no one saw it because no one knew what it was about. Because just calling it John Carter is unhelpful.
You could just call it like John Carter, the hero of Mars, or like John Carter, the liberator of Mars, or John Carter, the Martian manhunt. No,
it's not.
Just call it The Martian.
Yeah, that's a great name. I can't see any problem with that.
But it's like it's not bad. Like I watched it, expecting it to be really bad because I'd heard really bad things about it. And then I watched it, and I was like, you know what, this is actually fine. Like it's nothing astounding, it's nothing groundbreaking, but
it probably was at the time.
Yeah, the story at the time would have been, but like from a modern perspective, as a modern movie, but it's like completely. It's very CG heavy, but it's fine.
It's no Avatar.
I can honestly say I have never seen Avatar, and I have absolutely zero desire to go watch Avatar as well.
If you've seen Pocahontas or Dances with Wolves, it's literally that.
I've seen John Carter, which is basically the same story.
Okay, so it's like that, but the CGI is probably a little bit better. But it's like then they fuck the things that they fly with, and then like with their hair penises. It's really cool.
That is not in John Carter. That is unique to Jim Cameron's weird brain.
And like you literally have Sigourney Weaver in it for like 10 minutes, I think. And she's just like, I wanted a conservatory, so I'm here.
Anyway, so Nightflyers, do you recommend
Nightflyers, yeah, I recommend it. But bear in mind, it seems derivative because it's fucking old.
Okay.
But yeah, the last thing I've seen is just a movie I saw on Netflix called The Monster.
Okay.
Does it have a monster in it?
It does have a monster in it.
That's pretty good then.
This
sold as seen.
Yes, it does have like a lot of non-linear storytelling, which I thought was quite crappy. I'd say overall I had quite a positive impression of it, but it did do a lot of things that I was kind of a bit like, yeah, with. It does... It's a little girl, as I say, she's probably about 10 or 12, and her piece of shit mother, who looks like she's 15 years old, because she's the actress playing her is just really youthful looking.
Yeah, she
is so young looking.
Apparently this is just the week of me looking up things on IMDb for you while you were watching things on Netflix.
I'm eternally grateful, dude.
But but you said, look at her, and like I looked over, and she looks like... She looks 15.
She looks so young.
And then we looked it up, and she's 2 years older than I am.
Which is like 56.
No, wait, she's like 3. I think she's 3 years older than I am.
Wasn't it like 5?
Like at the time when the movie...
She was like mid-30s. She was damn girl.
Yeah, I think she was like 33 when the movie was made, but she could play anywhere from like 15 to about 22.
Yeah, she looked
like,
so like, Jesus girl, that's wow. And like,
it was
so
just really weird. Like,
so she's playing like the shithead, like down, like deadbeat mom, and like the daughter is like it kind of starts with her trying to wake her mum up and being like, "Come on, we need to go," and she's like, "I'm awake. Where's Roy?" or whatever shithead boyfriend's name, and she's like, "I don't know where Roy is. He's an idiot anyway," and like the whole kind of like kid being a bit older because her mother sucks. And then, like, it goes on, and it's like, it just keeps showing the woman being a terrible mother. And, like, even when she tries, she fucks it up because she's not trying very hard. And you're like, okay, so I hope this character dies. She's fucking shit. And, like, the little kid is just, like, she's trying to do her best. And, like, they start driving. Like, I think it said that she's taking her to her dad's, basically. And then she's like, the mother in the car is like giving her a bit of a guilt trip, being like, "Oh god, yeah, you won't want to come back," and all this kind of shit. And like, they do a great job of making me hate this fucking character so much. You're just like, yeah, honestly, yeah, just go let her live with her dad because you are garbage, lady. And like, they're driving, it's quite a drive, and it starts pissing it down with rain, and it gets dark. And they're just driving along this big old country road, like taking her home to the place that the kid hopefully will belong. Nowhere near West Virginia as far as I'm aware.
Yes.
But I haven't seen a mountain, but there is a mama in it.
Did anyone in the movie get banned for carrying too much ammo?
No, although... Okay, that was a reference to someone like who was really enjoying Fallout 76 to the point where they played like 900 hours of it. They got banned because they had collected too much ammo.
Which
is...
Because Fallout 76 is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
Moving on. So they're like stretch the road, and they're talking away, and they hit something, and they spin out. And, like they kind of get pretty fucked up because this is an old American car with like no safety features, so there's like no airbag, nothing. So they're all cut up, and the woman's really hurt her wrist, and they're like, "What the fuck did we hit? Was that like a person? That was big." So like they turn around, they look, and it's this big dead wolf. And they're like, oh shit. And I'm immediately like, fuck this movie. I love my wolf baby. And they call for like, AA, roadside assistance, and they call for like the ambulance because they're obviously injured. And they call the little kid's dad, and it's like, yeah, we're okay. Just might be a bit longer because we hit a dog, that kind of thing. They kind of sit there, like, the little girl's kind of watching, like, they're just kind of sitting around hanging out, and the little girl's kind of looking out the window at this thing. She's like, I think that might be someone's pet, and she's like, no. So she goes out and has a look, and there's, like, this giant fucking inch-long fucking fang she pulls out of it, and she's like, huh, right, because it's, like, it's a big, thick fang, like from a fucking, if a wolf was the size of, like, a really big moose. That's how big the fangs would be, and she starts getting really uncomfortable. And it, like, long story short, it turns out that there's this weird fucking monster in the woods. The monster, you might say. And it's quite a claustrophobic kind of horror where they're just in the car, and then there's like the guy comes and helps them, and then he's outside, and there's and it's
monster
like monster time, and there's the little girl who's acting. She's pretty decent as an actress, so it's like massive props to this kid. And there's one scene that I fucking love. This kind of shot, it's so clever. Like, this is the epitome of good horror shots. So like the little girl realizes that the wolf isn't in the middle of the road anymore, and she's like, wait, what the fuck? So she kind of goes out in the pouring rain, and she's looking like because she has to go and talk to the guy and get the phone back, like the AA repairman, and he's like, oh, it's in my truck, and she's like, okay, your truck's not open. He's underneath the car fixing their axles, and he's like, well, just wait a minute, sweetheart. And she's like, okay. So she sees the spot of blood where the wolf was, and she sees drag marks. And she's like, okay. So she starts following this bloody drag marks into, like, just this, like, and she gets, like, 10, 15 feet into the woods off the side of the road, and she finds the wolf corpse. And she's, like, kneeling next to it, kind of, and she's like, oh, I found the wolf! And obviously no one can hear her, it's pissing down with rain. And she's just kind of, like, kneeling over it, and she, like, it's set up so that she's kind of more to the left of the shot. And it's just kind of filming her kind of looking down at this dead wolf. And she's like, I'm really sorry that we hit you. And, like, just being really sweet. And, like, the scene kind of goes on for a little bit. She's just kind of looking at this wolf. And then you see, like, there's just a bit of, like, slick foliage behind her that literally just, that's the monster. And it just kind of raises its head. It's been in shot the whole fucking time, just out of focus, and it's only just moved. And it kind of, like, you see it poke up and you see its fucking teeth and you're like, oh, fuck. And then it cuts back to the car. And you're like, that was so fucking good. I love that when the thing has been in the shot the whole time and then just at the end it moves and you go, fuck. It's just this, it skeeves me out. It's so good. But yeah,
it's all mostly practical effects as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to just be a guy in a suit or an animatronic, and I am so down for that. Because you don't get enough cool monster suits anymore. And it will always look 100 times better than CGI.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love it. It's got rain coming off it, and it's like, it is a spooky kind of monster. And it's like, it kind of displays intelligence, so it fucks with them a little bit. And it is just fun. And, like, there's a couple of, like, the ending shot, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but the last shot of the movie is such a beautiful shot. Because you were talking to me about it. It's just, it hit all the notes, and it really did kind of convey to the viewer the kind of feeling it was putting across, and it was really good.
Let's just say the director and writer, it's the same person, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
They were one of those cowards that used subtext.
Yes. Those cowards who use subtext. Yeah. But no, there's like a good few flashbacks in the movie, which I understand that there needed to be something to break shots from them being in the car. I got that, but I didn't like it. Because it was just like, okay, we get it. The mother is a piece of shit. Fucking don't care anymore. But like, hey, maybe like, you know, somebody, if that sounds interesting, which I can recommend. It is like a net positive experience. It's not perfect, but it is entertaining, and I think it's worth it just for the fact that there's a monster suit, and goddamn, we don't see enough of those.
That's true.
So yeah, The Monster, can recommend.
Cool.
For spoops. It's not like bone chilling, but there's a couple of like, woo,
yeah,
spoopy moments. But yeah, that's me done. Wiblet. What have you been up to, friend?
As you might have been able to guess from last time...
Star Trek?
I mean, yeah. As you might be able to guess from last time, where I made a very big deal of a game that I was going to be playing, I'm going to, go into that a bit now. Been playing a lot more Rollercoaster Tycoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
I have also been playing Bloodborne, but I'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, Bloodborne.
Just to kind of say about because I've been playing more of that OpenRCT2. I played some on stream because I started playing with the scenario editor a bit because I never really bothered with it back in the day. Which I presume was in the original build of the game. I'm pretty sure it was. You can just make your own levels. So I made a big one that was like borderline free play for playing a stream. So, like, name things after, I think there was, like, rides named after us, which were, like, 2 racing roller coasters, and then I named ones after all of our mods and a bunch of people in Stream Chat. And there was also a roller coaster that went all around the edge of the park, which, bearing in mind, I'd intentionally made it a gigantic park.
So this took, like, 20 minutes out of someone's day, huh?
It took, bearing in mind, like, a roller coaster in Rollercoaster Tycoon, it regularly takes, like... I think if one takes, like, over a minute, then it's, like, a really huge one. This one took, like, 4 minutes.
Was it just flat around the edge, like a monorail type transport?
No, it was, like, I think it was, like, a Giga Coaster or whatever it calls. So they're, like, the crazy tall ones. They're basically, they can't loop, though. So if I remember rightly, they're kind of like the one that used to be the world's tallest that's at Blackpool.
Oh, yeah. That one's made out of wood.
No, it's not made out of wood.
No, there is a lot of ones made out of wood up in Blackpool, but it was the Pepsi Max for a while. I don't know if that still has the same
branding.
I got stuck on the way up on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not actually been on
it. Was it you getting stuck on your own, or was it everyone else as well? Or did you just like stick your hand out and just grab onto like?
No, he climbed up it and wouldn't get down.
Yeah, they had to hit him with a broom and everything. Like, sir, you need to buy a ticket. And he started hissing at them. And they were like, fuck, we got a cryptid here. Someone shaved Bigfoot. Not very well, because he's still very beardy. Anyway, sorry, Jerome. I don't know why I keep telling stories about you getting stuck on things and hissing at people.
Yeah, it's not based on fact at all. Don't know what you're on about.
It's almost as if that's a thing you do, like, at least once a week without fail.
How did you get stuck up there?
Well, there's people know how roller coasters work, presumably. There's 2 cars.
Speedy thing goes up, and then it gets speedy when you go down.
Exactly. There's 2 cars on it, or there might even be 3. I don't know, but there's like multiple cars on the track at the same time to like make it more efficient. So while one's loading up, one can be like going up the like clickety click lifting bit, and then the other one can be like riding around or whatever. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3. But there's obviously then there has to be some safety things in, which means that the cars can't get too close to each other. And this was basically just on a day when there was just like absolutely no wind or something, and the wind or something, which meant the cars were going ever so slightly faster than they were supposed to.
Oh no!
So it meant that when it came into the station, it didn't stop quite. It stopped like a millimetre or whatever, like a tiny amount further forward than it should do. But because of that, it triggered the safety thing and shut the whole ride down.
Oh, shit.
So me and my brother and obviously a bunch of however many other strangers were on this ride. On the way up, halfway up the incline, me being absolutely terrified of heights, and I don't know why I agreed to get on, like. But that wasn't the worst bit. Was because it's like there's no loops in this. It's just huge. You have one big you go up to the top and then it goes around, but there's no loops. So like it's not like an over the shoulder big padded comfy support thing. It's just a lap bar.
Yeah.
And the seats are like plastic and only go up like half your back, which is fine as you're moving around. But if you're sat there for like half an hour or whatever it was, at like a 45 odd whatever degree angle, the back of the seat, plastic seat digging into your spine was so much worse than the like being high up and stuck, because it was just such an uncomfortable seat.
Oh, dude,
it's a fun ride though.
It's a fun ride when you're not stuck on it.
It did mean that the ride was slightly more fun because it was going slightly faster than it was supposed to as well. But it meant that for a while, every time the ride went through, the whole ride got shut down, had to reset for the rest of the day, basically.
Why didn't they just shut it the fuck down?
Because people were still queuing.
Why?
So, I don't know. To be fair, I think we didn't know it was doing this when we got in the queue, so...
Yeah,
they should have had a sign going, warning, this will take you 45 minutes to complete.
Honestly, I never went on that ride because the last time I went there, I was not quite... I'd not quite ditched my fear of roller coasters.
Yeah, neither did I.
Which like now I like don't care and I'd happily go on it. But like I really enjoyed because there was a couple of racing wooden roller coasters there that I fucking loved.
They were cool.
I don't know. I'm still kind of scared of roller coasters. I went on like loads of them when I was younger because I had so much shit to prove, and now I'm just like, I'm a stone cold fucking coward. I love the merry-go-round.
I'd love to go on
the merry-go-round is way more dangerous actually than a roller coaster.
Well, I mean, it probably actually is more dangerous. Yes.
Yeah, because
it's not as thrilling, but it's probably more dangerous.
Not only did Frank Castle's family die there, but like that's where Pyramid Head hangs out.
I will say, legitimately, it's much easier to fall off a merry-go-round and hurt yourself than it is to fall off a roller coaster.
Yeah, you could say I'm kind of a thrill seeker.
I don't know if I would. Anyway, I want to start talking about the real subject at hand for a while.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, go on.
Fine.
But yeah, so I built this like ridiculous like roller coaster that took me like half an hour or something to build. It was ridiculous because someone was like, "Oh, you need to make like a giant roller coaster and name it after Alpha Boosa." And it's like, okay, sure. And so it was. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was giant.
Recently, it was like the Alpha Bus.
It was the Alpha Bus Experience or something like that. I can't remember.
Nice, yeah.
Because he owns all three of us.
Yeah.
Like legally.
Yeah.
The Alpha Bus as an entity owns Snipe and Whip and Drummer Matt by extension.
But yeah, I'm going to keep that save file because I might go back to it on stream at some point because I just really like playing Rollercoaster Tycoon. I've been playing loads of it. I just fucking love it.
Hey man, I can't say anything. I've played like 1 billion hours of WoW, so you do what you enjoy.
But aside from that, I have of course been playing Bloodborne.
The Blooded Born.
I know this is several years after everyone else played it, but we've only just got a PS4, so we did do a bit of a stream of it.
That was an experience. You did amazing at that stream setup, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
we had a bunch of technical difficulties because there's
so
like a time lag and Wib He did amazing. Everyone tell him he's amazing. And
Wib compensation.
Yes.
You have to try and compensate for the lag of the PS4 running through capture software.
So it's like a second of lag. So you need to
add a latency to your audio and to your webcam. Because you can just stream through the PS4, but then we wouldn't have any of our notification, the chat stuff. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I think I had an interesting way of getting prepared for it, because I thought I like the Souls series, although I did get a bit burnt out on it, and I was like, I know I'm going to like Bloodborne, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it because I'm not very good at playing without a shield.
To be fair, your kind of normal style with the Souls games tends to be great sword and shield.
Yeah, I tend to do great sword and shield.
You tend to be very slow and methodical with your attacks, and you learn the timing of your heavy weapons incredibly well. So that's the opposite of Bloodborne, basically.
However, it turns out that because I'd been playing a shitload of the Surge, which, though quite a slow and methodical game, the blocking in it is garbage, so I just stopped using it ever and just did everything with dodging. So I ended up training myself for Bloodborne by playing the Surge, which I think might be a sentence that's not been said out loud by a human before. Mostly because it involves someone having played the Surge.
Hey, now I know at least one 3
person.
people It's you, Longfang, and Casey Explosion on Twitter.
Yeah.
You're like the only 3 people I know who've really played it. And continue to play
And
it.
at least 2 of them like it.
Yeah. Which 2, you decide.
It's certainly not Longfang. But yeah, so that kind of trained me to do the kind of dodgy style of combat. And yeah, I've been really enjoying, obviously, like the style of it, of this like kind of spooky.
The aesthetic is amazing. Shock horror.
Yeah, the kind of spooky, bloody, like
dirty. It
Borny.
literally is. It's
horror.
just like going to London.
Yeah, this like very grim.
Again, London.
Yeah, but this very grim, like almost grim, darky kind of setting. It's very goofy. You know, there's fucking witches and werewolves and all sorts of
don't
ogres
you ever
and
talk
shit.
smack about werewolves.
They
are so legit.
It's all very goofy, but there's this undercurrent of Lovecraftian shit, which is just fantastic.
I mean, like, there's a thing where, what is it? The more Madman's insight you get, you start seeing things that you couldn't see before. Like, I don't know. Oh, what are they called? Like, there's like dimensional shamblers and shit in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Or things that are a very similar kind of monster to them.
There's literally like a fucking Shoggoth.
There's like a Shoggoth and a fucking like hovering over a town kind of thing that you can't see until you have enough insight.
There's loads of like Lovecraftian influence to it, which is cool. And I've not got very far in it because I've been sort of just rather than like really hammering at it, I've been sort of just chipping away at it. So like currently I'm trying to what's it called? There's like, after you've got out of Yharnam proper and you go through the cathedral district and you get to like a wooded area and you're going through like a village area. I'm doing that as well as trying to kill Vicar Amelia.
Vicar Amelia is awesome. I love her.
So I've not got super far. I've only beaten 3 bosses so far, which is...
I beat Gascoigne.
Yeah, you did. The way we did the stream was we just started from the beginning, playing as Hunter Matilda.
Like, instead of Scion Matilda, which is a character I voice from the amazing If the Emperor Had Text-to-Speech by the Alpha Bus, the entity known as the Alpha Bus.
That was what the Rollercoaster was called. It was the Alpha Bus entity.
Oh, yeah. That's a good name. That's a good name.
But yeah, so we played through on stream. We played from the beginning, and now I'd already beaten the Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne on my own save. And so when we got to the stream, I was like, well, I know that like Gascoigne's can be really difficult to beat.
I tried to beat the first one, the Cleric Beast, and I didn't, so Wib just did it the next time, because I died horribly, and then he just went in and just rocked around and just murdered the thing.
Yeah, but really annoyingly, I could not beat Gascoigne on stream. Just couldn't do it. I just couldn't deal with his, like, when he turns into his beast phase, could not deal with it at all. And Snipe just goes and does it.
I don't just go and do it.
It takes you a few attempts, but like his first phase, you were just like stunning him and like getting him in like the parry thing like constantly.
For some reason, I could parry him, like I could just get parrying with him. But then then he turned into his big scary beast like werewolf form, and I was just like, because he goes fucking hard. Lordy, does he go hard? And I was just like, I kind of figured out that you don't dive backwards, you have to dive to the side or into him when he goes kind of nuts. And I just managed to scrape by.
Hey, you still did it, and you did it on stream, which I couldn't manage. And like I'd already beaten him. Like I don't know why. However, I did then manage to completely cheap out. I don't know what the character's name is, but the guy
with a Gatling gun in Old Yharnam.
Yeah, there's a guy in Old Yharnam who has a Gatling gun on top of like a church, and he's just like strafing the area.
He is such a dick.
And he's a quite a tough character to beat. That is, unless you kick him off the roof.
Which you did, you did that...
On stream.
And then you did it, like, more off stream.
Yeah, when I got to that point on my own save, I did it again. And I did them both first time as well.
Yeah,
I've never died.
Him off the roof.
I never died in that fight. I've just kicked him off the roof both times.
I remember Unity going, dude, fuck you. How? That's really hard to do.
That's apparently my only skill, is being able to cheese out this one enemy.
Is parrying Gascoigne. Your only skill is kicking that guy off a fucking roof.
I have now beaten Bloodstarved Beast as well, who's...
Oh, that's gross.
Who's
so
an interesting
cool,
enemy.
but
yeah,
so gross.
You probably don't need to be told this, but yeah, Bloodborne's really great. It does have some things that I don't quite understand, like where they're just not great, like from a design perspective, and there's no good reason for them. Like how you can teleport back to the Hunter's Dream, which is the equivalent of like the Firelink Shrine or what have you.
It's like that's your hub.
That's your hub like area where you go back to, and you can teleport to wherever you need to. But you can't just sit down at a bonfire and like repop the area.
You have to teleport away and then
you have to teleport
back.
away. And if you want to teleport to anywhere that's not the Hunter's Dream, you have to teleport to the Hunter's Dream and then teleport from there to somewhere else. It's just
kind of needless busy work.
It's the sort of stuff that had just been worked out of Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls 2 didn't do that. So it was just a bit like, okay, that's slightly annoying. And also little things like I understand how the blood vials are now a limited resource rather than having like an Estus flask that just repops every time you die. And it's like in general
and silver bullets
fine.
As well.
Well, I don't really count that as much because that's just part of your. That's just a resource.
I'm just kind of like grinding out like blood vials is really tedious and just makes the game come to a screeching halt. And you're like, I guess I got to farm blood vials for like half an hour before I can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, like
else.
I'm generally like it's not so bad because the way I tend to play Dark Souls is just Souls games in general rather is that I'll play them for like hours just grinding out an area just because I find that kind of like vaguely relaxing.
Weirdo.
And then once I've kind of like completely kind of done an area and got everything I wanted to from it, then I'll take on the boss. And like in Bloodborne, by that point, I'll have gathered a shitload of blood vials. So it's not been an issue. I've not had to like grind out blood vials except on stream. But yeah, my normal way of playing, I don't have to do that. But the fact that I know there's that thing hovering over me is slightly annoying because I'm like, I can't just throw myself at a boss like a million times. I will have to stop periodically to grind out blood vials, which is kind of annoying. I do think the Estus system is just kind of a bit superior.
Yeah.
But still, I'm enjoying it. It's been really interesting going through it. And playing a Souls game that's not a knockoff Souls game, but not having a shield, that's been very interesting. Like trying to do more speedy combat. It's very, very exciting. I've just also got Ludwig's Holy Blade, which is the great sword in the game.
How are you getting on with that?
Well, as someone that tended to play great swords in Dark Souls, I'm enjoying it a lot because it's got the same moveset as things that I usually use. Plus, then its regular mode is just a normal sword. So it's definitely better than the sword cleaver I was using because it's got a bit more range. So yeah. Shock Horror Bloodborne's quite good. Lovely and atmospheric music's great.
Music's fantastic.
Possibly the coolest fashion sense of any video game. Mm-hmm. It's all very good. I am enjoying it.
I like it how when you're carving up the enemies, you just get covered in fucking blood and gore.
Also, because you get health back when you're doing that, it really incentivizes trading blows with things. So, when you play Dark Souls and you end up in a huge group of enemies and you just keep mashing attack because you panic, that actually works in Bloodborne. Because you start gaining health back from whacking people so much.
Yeah, just like real life.
So that's a thing. Yeah, if you whack a lot of people, then eventually you get your health back.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the last thing I have to talk about is...
Can I make a wild guess?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
It's Star Trek Discovery.
Shit. I was going to go with Star Wars...
Resistance?
Yes.
The series that's like the new one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was tempted.
Yes.
Yes. I saw the novelization of A New Hope today, and I was like, I'd probably get that for him, but he's a huge nerd, so I'd probably instead get him a weird finger tentacle, which I did instead, and you seem to have gotten more joy out of that.
You did buy me a weird rubber tentacle that you put on the end of your finger and then annoy people with.
I can attest to the fact that it is incredibly annoying to be on the end of that, yeah.
My favourite is still where I attached it to our mic stand and fully extended it so it's like 7 feet long or something.
Yeah.
And then poked you in the back of the head from the other side of the room.
Yeah. I didn't like it because that genuinely frightened me, and I was like, what the fuck, this horrible kind of like rubbery texture on the back of my fucking neck. Because I came in from the gym and I was like sat on the bed because you were waking up, and I was like, "Morning." I got you a tentacle that goes on your finger, and then you literally spent the next 10 minutes as I was talking to you smacking me with it, either in the face, in and around the face, basically. I was just like, "Fucking cut it out," and I kept having to take it off you, and then you'd somehow get it back while I'm trying to tell you about me fighting old people at the gym.
Yep.
Being married is awesome.
Anyway.
Tell us about the Star Trek.
Yes. Next 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery, I'll just briefly talk about them because that's what I do.
Spoilers?
I'll not give away spoilers.
Okay.
Really. Because I think the series is good, so I want people to watch it, so I'm not going to spoil it for them.
Okay.
But I will mention a few things. Episode 4 was following the sort of pattern that the first handful of episodes have done, of having one episode that was kind of rushed and aimed towards the overarching plot, and then one episode that's just a random adventure.
Cool.
So that carried on with that, and it was just... So basically, they are chasing someone, and that's just led them into a few shenanigans as they've been going. So episode 4, they like get trapped in place by this sort of like little large asteroid, small moon thing, and they have to try and figure out what's going on with there because it's screwing with the computer, like it's screwing with the universal translator, so they're all speaking random languages.
Is that why I turned around and one of them speaking French and the other one's speaking Klingon?
Yeah.
And they're like, and they reply in like German, "Why are you speaking Klingon?"
Yeah. But like, so Saru, who is explained, I think in the previous episode, that when he was about joining Starfleet, he went out of his way to learn a shitload of Federation languages. So
I'm just going to say, that is the most sweetest, purest gesture. That is so fucking lovely.
So he did that. It was all irrelevant because they have universal translators.
It's the principle of the thing.
But that meant he was the one person who could actually understand most of what the computer was doing, because he could read most of the languages that it was doing. So he could actually fix everything. But it has some like quite nice... I won't spoil anything because it has some nice, sweet moments in it, dealing with Saru, and he has some character development going on there. But it was a nice again, an episode where it uses the structure of the series of them trying to figure out a mystery, this overarching mystery, but using it to get into individual adventures, which is a vastly superior way, I feel, of doing it than Season 1's, that whilst it did have a small amount of that, it was mostly just, here is the big story, let's tell the big story. And there's always been an element of what's on the new planet this week in Star Trek, which I think is been important to recapture, and it's been a lot more fun and engaging because of that. Episode 5 was weird as fuck, and had some very strange moments where characters kind of do some weird shit I don't really want to get into, because it's even bigger spoilers that seem very strange.
Just weird things happen.
But still kind of another kind of just little adventure thing that's sort of tying into... There's been a subplot going on for multiple things. I think I mentioned it previously, of Tilly seeing a person.
I really like Tilly.
Tilly's great.
She's so sweet.
Generally speaking, from what I understand from people I've seen talking about it, a lot of people who don't even like Discovery love Tilly.
I love her. She is so great.
She's great.
Such a great character. Very human. Which, I mean, for a human in Star Trek, yeah, but... She's
a very flawed human, and that's relatable.
But she's not a dickhead.
You know what she is? It feels like she's a more modern sympathetic take on Reg Barclay. Because Barclay was obviously played up for laughs a lot. Even though like he was just a guy who suffered from really bad anxiety problems.
Yeah, let's make fun of him.
And it was
different time.
It was. I mean, it was mostly sympathetic, but it was played up for laughs as well. Like he was presented as being a good guy, and he helped out a lot, and he was very smart. But his thing was played up for laughs, where there's less of that with Tilly. I don't know. To me, it just feels like a more sympathetic attempt at a similar kind of approach. But anyway. That's been kind of coming to a head over like multiple episodes, as like the B plot of several episodes. And to give away a minor spoiler, it turns out that the character she's been seeing, May, who has been taking the form of a dead classmate that she had, is actually like just a weird fungal blob thing.
I be blobbing.
Yeah. That was what I was about to mention. So I have had the phrase "I be blobbing" stuck in my head for like a week.
Yeah, he has.
Because...
I can attest to that, because as his wife, I've literally woken up with it. I've eaten dinner to it. I've gone to sleep with "I be blobbing" echoing through the flat.
Because I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the actress who plays May. But
Who plays the blob.
But someone said to her on Twitter of like, "Oh, like I've been watching Discovery and I'm really enjoying your character. You're my favourite blob." And she just responded with "I be blobbing." And that phrase has just been stuck in my brain ever since. I don't know why.
Yeah. And yes, we know, people in the UK, it can mean like something. We know it can mean the menstrual cycle, but it's fine because this lady is a big blob.
She is literally a blob.
She's a blob.
She be blobbing.
Like, it's the cute kind of non-biological term for it. But yeah, so I've been hearing that. Day, night, everything in between.
But still, it's been good. It's been good. But yeah, I've been enjoying Discovery. It's been vastly better than its previous series. A lot more fun. One interesting thing is that they're seemingly going with the interpretation of Section 31 in this, because it showed up again. They're going with a more "this is just the Black Ops" version of it that is sort of known about, but everyone just kind of pretends it doesn't exist, as opposed to the version that we got in DS9 sort of era, where it was no one knows this exists. It takes legitimate like work to even prove it exists. Whereas it seems like Section 31's a bit more of a known entity. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it does mean they are able to do slightly different things with it, because then it ends up as being a more, okay, well, you know, you're all these like starry-eyed explorers, well, we're the people who do the rough shit that makes that possible, and leads to conflict between, you know, obviously the idealism of the Federation and some people who are doing things that they believe to be pragmatic. Whether they are actually doing things that are good and necessary is not something we
interesting
really...
moral quandary. Yeah.
And you know, like it's just a different take on Section 31. So you know what? Again, like whilst as you know, I've said many times, even though the producers claim it exists in the Prime timeline, I don't treat it as such. It's its own thing, and so a completely different take on Section 31 that's not quite what it was in the previous ones is okay by me, because it's just something different, isn't it? But yeah, continuing to enjoy it. Vastly better than Season 1.
I'm glad.
Hasn't been a super bad episode or anything, like there was in the original series.
But Star Trek's first series has been good.
So yeah, I reiterate, for many times I've said it, but if you didn't like Season 1, give Season 2 a chance. It's a lot better and a lot more Star Trek. So yeah. And on that note, I shall finish my recounting of things, and I shall pass over to the Drummond Matthew.
The Drummond Matt. What have you been up to, Drummond Matt?
A couple of bits about that. I don't have too much to say.
That's okay.
So my new game for the podcast is technically a new game. Well, new to me. It's the second half of Metal Gear Solid 5, but it is
Phantom Pain,
as was made abundantly clear by the fact that you had to pay for the demo. It is a separate game to the demo. It's not just a demo in the main game. Therefore, it counts as a new game. So I'm still on a roll. Yeah. Have you guys played this one?
No, I played about 10 minutes of
Ground Zeroes.
And I got super fucking mad, and I haven't picked
Really?
it. I literally have like Ground Zeroes as a PS3 game, and that's right, PS3 demo, and I also have it on Steam, and I also have MGS5 on Steam.
Yeah, you have both on Steam,
and
because you got them the same way I did.
Yeah. And
Actually, you had it before.
Actually, no. I think I got them gifted to me. But yeah, and I feel really bad because people have gifted them to me, and I've just got like I can't bring myself to play them. But yeah, no. So yeah, 10 minutes of Ground Zeroes, but that's literally it.
Well, so I think my thoughts last time when I just played Ground Zeroes was that I quite enjoyed it, but the like PC adaptation of it was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like they, the weird control schemes and things. So they fixed all of that in the main game, which is good.
Oh, good.
It's still on all of the loading screens and things. It does tell you,
Press
tilt the left joystick to do this. And everything else is fine. Like it tells you to press left or right mouse click or whatever. It's just the left joystick doesn't change that to WASD or anything. It just says the left side, and sometimes you can't like hold a key in the same way you hold a joystick, so it's a bit weird. But mostly it's fixed for that. But it's just right. So I was just making some quick notes while I was playing, and just do you want to hear just my quick one-word little notes that I made to myself as we go through?
Yeah,
sure.
So for cutscenes, credit sequences, cutscenes, zombies, cutscenes, even more fucking credits.
Dude.
Okay, fine, the gameplay is okay.
Okay,
You're literally describing a Metal Gear game.
That's just a Metal Gear game.
I know, but I haven't played one for so long, I forgot how many fucking cutscenes there are. Oh my god, the first 2 hours of the game, these like 10 minutes of gameplay. It's just like, I forgot it was like this.
Oh man, you should play Metal Gear 4.
Metal Gear 4 is like a solid 2 hours before you even get to play.
And like every single time there's a cutscene, or you do basically anything else, like the credits appear and it's like, oh, remember that Kojima did this? It's like, yeah, I get, you've literally put him in the game. I don't need more reminders that... Like every time anything happened, it's like directed by, written by. It's like, yeah, I get it, fine.
God, Hideo Kojima's such a jerk.
Yeah, seemingly. He's put himself in the fucking game.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if you enter and exit the helicopter he's in 50 times and you just see him fucking sucking his own dick. I would not be surprised if that was an Easter egg, and honestly, I want someone to try it and then just tell me that's a thing.
Like the gameplay-wise, once you get away from all of that, it's fine, but it's nowhere near as good as the demo or the Ground Zeroes. I don't know. It seems very cynical. Like the Ground Zeroes was you had a mission. And you did it, and it was in a nicely well-designed, like, military base thing, and there was all these things to do, and there was a couple of other missions that were in the same place, but you just had to you had to go and do a different thing, which was fine when it was just, like, that was the level, and that was the sort of, you treated it as a demo, and that was fine. But then this, because they've tried to make it, like, open world, because presumably whenever they released it, that was what people wanted, and people like open world games, according to, EA and whatnot.
No, they were a big in vogue thing for a while.
So it's just like now it's an open world thing. You've got all of these different missions, but they all take place in the same place. And yeah, there's a few different towns and different outposts on the same map. But yeah, okay, it might be a big map, fine. I don't know how it compares to like it's the biggest open world map ever, or all that sort of bullshit.
It's no Just Cause, I suppose.
No, so I don't know about that, but like. All of the missions take place in the same place, so it just feels like you're just doing the same, and there's like loads, and then you do a mission and you've got one objective and it's just down the road from the last mission you've done. And then after you've done that, like you can redo the mission. There's like 4 or 5 like bonus objectives, but they don't tell you that before you do the mission the first time. So it's like you've got to go and basically it forces you to replay them. So it seems so limited in the missions that are available in the same space, and then you have to replay each one like 3 or 4 times to like finish the mission properly.
Well, that sounds kind of tedious.
And I was just like, this is just kind of, it's very weird.
I've heard that Phantom Pain is, like, I know this doesn't line up exactly with what you're saying, but like the general consensus I got from it was that the story was ridiculous and dumb as a sack of rocks.
Not even for a Metal Gear game.
It was just a bad story as far as Metal Gear goes. But the gameplay itself was really good, and that's what kept a lot of people going.
The gameplay is good. It's just I'm already starting to feel too much repetitiveness of the missions, and I'm only like according to the title screen, like 3% into the game or whatever. And it's already feels... I don't know later on you like unlock different bits of the world where you can do things or different levels. But so far it's just all been the same level. I've done the first like 6 missions or something.
Have you been attaching balloons to goats?
I had not to goats, but I've been attaching balloons to... I got a little puppy.
Oh, Dee.
Yeah, he's
like
amazing.
Dee.
You can't pet him though. You can walk up to him on the base, and it comes up with a little hand thing. So I was just like, "Oh, that must be the pet button." I pressed it, and it just punched the person next to me. I was like, "Guess that's not the petting the dog button then."
I love the idea that John is Snake is so fucking done. He is literally... He goes up to see a dog, and he's like, "Damn, that's a cute puppy," and gets so mad, he punches the guy next to him. And then he's like, "That's how real men deal with emotions." And then goes off to be sad.
That is
big boss now.
That is kind of post MGS3 Snake.
He punches people because dogs are cute. He gets just sad.
Do you ever get really sad and then start up a mercenary-based army of child soldiers?
I mean, please, I can do that like 3 times a day. Apparently.
But it's just things like that. I think it's very much like... Yeah, they put in this cute dog because they're like, oh, people like cute dogs, but there's not an option to interact with it in any possible way.
I'm sorry, but if Far Cry 5 is doing something better than a Metal Gear game, you've got to worry.
Probably, yeah.
And I think they should have called Dee like Cheeseburger, which would have been way better. Or maybe he should have just kept calling Ocelot Cheeseburger and just really annoying him because he's such a little shit. But yeah, sorry, this is you talking about Metal Gear, I apologise.
No, sorry. My last criticism, so there's like base building as well.
Yeah.
To expand out your base. But then that takes like real time to do. It's like, okay, this will be ready in an hour. And you're like, I'm so surprised that there's not a, do you want to buy some like Metal Gear Solid?
Honestly, I would not be surprised if that was the original intention.
Yeah, like it's just it seems it's very much designed by numbers and committee and the gameplay is good and it's keeping me playing it through all of these annoyances. But I just kind of wanted it to be better after how much people go on about Metal Gear Solid games.
I'd say just...
And by people, I don't entirely just mean you, Snipe.
You don't entirely just mean me, but mostly it's just me.
Kind of mostly.
You know,
I really wanted to like it, but...
You know,
and I do. I like the gameplay. It could be so much better, and it would have been less effort, almost, for them to make it better.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it like this was kind of like the final straw between Kojima and Konami. And
but
I
mean, a lot of the things that seem wrong with it is because Kojima's name's all over it. So it's kind of all you want to side with Konami, to be honest. And that's a bad thing.
No, this is true. But I mean, Metal Gear fucking Survive.
That puts me back on the side of none of the people.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, I would say if you want the opposite of MGS5, which is a really good story and shitty gameplay, I would recommend Metal Gear Solid 3. It's my favourite Metal Gear Solid. It's beautiful. It's
rough to go back to now, though.
It's hard to go back to, but, like, it is...
Well, that's why I was hoping this one would be good, because I don't often go back to older games. Like, sometimes if I played them quite a bit, I could go back and look, maybe, but, like... I don't know, I don't tend to go back to old games that much.
I can't fault you, because they are really hard and difficult to go back to, and that's a lot of weight on your nostalgia, honestly.
Yeah, I will say, I am finding this really curious how the last handful of podcasts, like, I've been playing and watching things that I've been, positive about, and upbeat, and going like, oh, this is quite good, I'm enjoying this.
Matt.
And Matt's been the one that's been like, I've been playing this, and it's been shit.
Yeah, usually Drummer Matt's the bastion of tolerance.
And I'm just like, it feels like...
Okay, no, I can continue the theme then.
Okay,
with the other thing I've been doing this week. I watched, which I assume as everyone with a Netflix subscription has been bullied into at least being aware of, Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. And it's got nothing to do with Resident Evil. I don't know why I got excited. So mad.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, it's sort of a superhero-ish type thing. A bunch of people are born and they have powers, and some crazy old white dude adopts them and forces them to become superheroes. Okay. It's the gist of it. And it could be interesting. It has so much going for it, but it's just kind of shit.
I saw Laura Kay described it as, like, kind of like Misfits.
Yeah, well, it's got one of the guys from Misfits in it.
Oh, there you go.
Although not doing his Irish accent, which is disappointing because he's just hilarious when he does his normal accent.
Which one is he? Is he the skinny Dylan Moran-like kind of guy?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that, but he's
every Irishman is Dylan Moran because I'm foreign and apparently inherently very racist.
Apparently.
I feel really bad. Miracle of Sound looks a bit like Dylan Moran.
It has. I'm disappointed that I don't want to watch more of it, but it's just kind of lazy. And, like, the dialogue is so clunky. And I don't know if that's because they're trying to like copy the dialogue straight from the comics that it's based off. Oh God!
Don't ever do that.
But it's very clunky dialogue.
Is there a conversation of like, you don't know what it's like to be scared of what you might do, and then someone's like, yeah, I do. Because I'm also scared of me. And then someone will be like this is like from The Shadow as well. And it was so cringy when it was in The Shadow. And it hasn't aged well. But it's like, oh, I'm not afraid of you. No, but I am. Which is the most like, I want to headbutt something. It's so awful.
Okay, it's not quite that bad. But it is very clunky. Because if it was
that bad, I'd probably watch it.
And it's also it gives its audience no credit at all. Like, you have a scene where something happens. Yeah. And then the next scene, it's like, oh, this other thing's happening. This is important because in that last scene, this thing happened.
Oh, no.
And then in the third scene, it's like, this is happening. It's like, oh, yeah, but this is important because the thing in the last scene happened, and that's important. It's like, oh, yeah, we get it. Like, I can remember what happened in the previous scene. And you already, like, the camera, like, zooms... I'm not necessarily talking literally here, but, you know, the camera and everything zooms in on this one thing. Then it moves to the next scene, and then they have to... It's like, that's bad enough. But then they verbally, like, remind you why. And you're like, guys, like, I can remember... Like,
why do they want to kill Paul Atreides?
Yeah, it's very kind of bad.
Yeah, it's like
which is upsetting because it intrigued me, and the cast are quite cool. Like, yeah, I like bloody the guy that you just the guy from Misfits.
Dylan Moran.
No, Sheehan, Robert Sheehan.
Robert
Something
Moran.
Like that. Possibly.
Yeah. Not every Irishman is Dylan Moran.
Yeah. Miracle of Moran. He does music on YouTube.
And it's got Ellen Page in it. I like Ellen Page.
Oh, Ellen Page. That reminds me of another movie I saw.
If you fucking mention bloody David Cage, throw you out of a window from France so hard.
You will defenestrate me from France. Are you just going to like open a portal next to me, yank me in? No, wait. First of all, you've got to learn portal magic, which will take you probably like 60 years of your life. Are you that mad?
Yeah, I just don't want to hear about David Cage.
But he met Ellen Page, and he makes...
That's what... Yeah.
So,
okay, I can hear the teleportation book
Umbrella Academy, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Is
like,
it Umbrella Academy?
Umbrella Chronicles.
Umbrella Academy, yeah.
Degeneration.
3D.
The final chapter.
Yeah, I wanted to enjoy it, but we're not going to. It's an hour-long episode as well, and it really didn't have to be. If it didn't spend the whole time telling you what's just happened, it could have been a half-hour episode, and that would have been, I think, fine. But because it lasted a whole fucking hour... It's just
I like the idea that it's an hour long and it's half an hour is spent going, remember when we were in that room, and then it just black and white cuts to 3 seconds earlier of them just standing in a room, and then it cuts back. Did you remember that dog we saw? And then it cuts back like 5 minutes earlier where there was this dog and they were like, there's a dog there.
Is it interesting to watch in a sort of so bad it's good way, or is it just bad?
No, it's not even that.
Okay.
Oh.
It's just kind of, they just somehow made it really bland to me.
Okay.
I don't know. I really wanted to like it, but I don't think we're going to bother watching any more than the first episode.
Fair enough.
But I mean, as much as I'd say don't go watch it, like, if you've got a Netflix subscription, you might as well watch the first episode.
Well, yeah, you might like it.
It's like, it's not so bad that I feel like I've wasted an hour completely and I'm angry about it. I'm just disappointed that I don't want to watch more.
Yeah.
But, like, if you've got Netflix and it's free to watch it, you might as well give it a try.
Yes, well, if you pay monthly for Netflix and it's free to watch something, you should watch. Is that your really backwards ass way of saying don't watch it?
No. But if you're already paying for Netflix, you don't have to pay extra to try this out.
Yeah.
Don't get Netflix because of this.
Oh God, no! Don't do that.
No.
Get it for Discovery.
No, get it for the complete back catalogue of Star Trek series.
Same thing.
So you can watch it. You can even watch the animated series.
Can you?
Yeah, the animated series is on
Yeah,
Netflix.
but-
How the hell else do you think I watched it?
No
The
one
internet.
cares to ask.
I assume it's all on YouTube. It's that old. It's like...
TV shows like on YouTube are like super fucking like the copyright for that is ravenous.
I don't know. It depends if it's Lex. No one gives a fuck about Lex.
For the most
Exactly,
part,
yeah.
I said.
Blake 7 is entirely up
I
there
wanted
as
to
well.
do a review of Biker Mice from Mars, and I was like, I probably shouldn't because of copyright.
So I'm guessing. Yeah. So no recommendation for Umbrella Academy.
No, unfortunately not. Which is, disappointing. But
apart from that, you got hotels or?
two very quick things, because I've spoken about both of them before, but just because I wanted to end on a positive note, and I didn't want to end on just those two things. I've been getting back into City Skylines,
Which is a good video game.
which is a very good video game. I just started, because I had one big city that I started like near to when it first came out. And it got to the point where like I hadn't played it for a while, and there was enough updates to it that I didn't want to go back and add all the extra new bits to my old city. It was just like, I'll just start again at some point.
Yeah.
It's been long enough where it's just easier to start again than to retrofit everything. And I've really had a few attempts, but like I've always got like an hour or two in and kind of got bored because I'm just like, oh, I don't have many options open, so I've kind of not stuck at it, and then waited long enough that I've not wanted to carry on and not wanted to start again, and got in one of those loops. But I had to go now, and I've got a big-ish city. I can't remember, it's like 20 or 25, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's to the point where you've got a lot of the options open up to you and things. I was like, yay, I'm doing it. I just bought the winter heating DLC, whatever it's called, purely because I wanted there was a road, and I was like, this road needs to have trams on it.
The British are so easy to financially manipulate.
Yeah, I know. I spent a £5 on this DLC.
Because you
For
want
trams.
And to be fair, in defence, I waited. It was meant to be a tenner, and I waited for it to be on 50% off.
Yeah.
So I waited, and then luckily it was only like 3 days before Steam sale happened, which was quite nice. Otherwise, I probably would have spent the tenner.
I just like
I'm a bad person.
Like, I was joking about this being like a British person entrapment thing to have trams and stuff, but legit, every time Wib and I go to Nottingham, because there's trams in Nottingham, but not in Derby, he just starts just projectile jizzing in like a 360 degree kind of angle and just going trams.
I know. There's trams
that's not even remotely true.
That's exactly what you do.
I think
Like, all the way to Warhammer World is just trams.
I think the only thing I say about the trams is I go, I like trams. They're cool.
And then you
they're
jizz.
they're like trains but on roads.
Yeah, like that's why I hate trams. They're stupid.
But also potentially off-road. If they want, they can do both. They're amazing.
Can you
I know, I love
imagine
trams.
going through the fucking woods, little stick in your hands, doing the whole kind of, oh yes, this is lovely, with you've got that fucking, those weird, like, backpacks with got like multiple buckles over your chest and torso, and you walk in and you got your shorts and your hiking socks and your walking boots, and you're like, oh yes, this is very nice. I can't wait to get home and have tea and crumpets. What? Because that's how you guys sound.
Yes,
and then you
of
get
course.
to the top and you just hear you just see a tram tearing the fuck through the fucking woods.
They do require rails.
Yeah, but
So-
not for... No, but the thing is, eventually they do. But if a tram is angry enough, it will barrel off. Don't laugh at me, I'm going somewhere with this.
When
It's like cars require fuel eventually. Momentum exists. Are you scientifically denying that momentum exists?
No, but I'm saying that trams don't move fast enough to build up enough momentum to get
Because
significantly
you've
through
never
a forest.
seen a tram angry enough.
There is a tram that we have trams here in Bordeaux, and
That's why you live there now. You wouldn't have moved to France if there wasn't trams there.
so they're extra special trams because the whole centre of Bordeaux is UNESCO World Heritage. You can't put up tram cable, the power cables above.
No.
They had to develop a whole new system for getting power from the road, but that also doesn't electrocute people.
That's how they make their way through the woods.
It's magic and it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
Drummer Matt is like a proper, like, he has like a fucking university qualification in engineering, and he's basically saying that forest trams are plausible.
He absolutely is not. Matthew, please talk about anything else.
All right, City Skylines is great, and I'm glad that I'm getting back into it. And speaking of things that are great and I'm getting back into, I've been playing Pokemon Go a bit more.
I know, you keep sending me gifts, and I keep sending you
Because
gifts.
I didn't realise that friends... I haven't played for quite a while. Now you can have friends. And now, most importantly, you can. There's a what's it called? Adventure Sync. So you can use the steps that your iPhone or other phones are available count anyway in the day.
Yeah.
And that counts towards the distance you go in Pokemon Go. So
Which is really handy for me, because I walk, fucking, 4 miles, 3-4 miles in a day, at least every other day. And it's just I'm hatching eggs like fucking
Yeah, it's
beast.
amazing. I'm currently running it's ridiculous, 60 kilometers a week or something.
You insane.
So I was like,
person.
well, I might as well get some Pokemon Go credit for that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So
My biggest problem with it, though, is that it will hatch eggs without telling you, and then you'll end up walking 3 miles without an egg in the incubator, and you're like,
yeah, I have noticed that most of the time it does tell you when you bring your screen back up, it does pop up and do the animation.
Yeah, most of the time.
But yeah,
but
sometimes it
bit.
doesn't. Yeah, I have noticed that. But yeah, it's still a good game. I'm glad that you can have friends now,
Yeah,
so
it's
we can
fun.
just send each other gifts and things. Yeah, I have a Kangaskhan with your name on it from Australia, which I caught 2.5 years ago when I was in Australia, hoping that at some point, and I've kept it. I've got 4 of them, and I've kept them because I knew at some point they'd add in trading and they'd be useful to trade people.
I also have 8 billion event Pikachus if you want any.
I have party hat, ash hat,
You have witch's
weird hat with sunglasses.
Ooh, I don't have that one.
And another one. I can't remember. I have a few.
Ooh, we'll have to just do a big trade.
Yeah. We will do. But you have to be within 100 meters of each other to trade.
That's so
I can't throw you
dumb.
Pokemon from France.
Well, I mean, you could just email. You could just send me your phone in the mail, but you just won't do that because you don't value me as a friend enough.
What I did do is because I wanted to trade with someone, because there's also a storyline quest thing now, sort of.
Oh yeah, you go and get research from Pokestops and
things.
stuff.
Yeah, this is probably not new news to anyone, but I haven't played for a year or two, so
I only started it up again because a friend of mine, she was like, oh yeah, gifts and trading are in it now, and I'm like, shit, okay, guess I gotta play again.
Yeah. I started up because I thought one of those storyline quests I had to trade 5 Pokemon. I started up another account, which I just put on my tablet because I don't have a spare phone, but I was like, that means I can actually trade with myself. It's nah.
That reminds me of playing the original 3.
Yeah. So I did that, and then it turned out you had to be level 10 to be able to trade, so I logged out on my phone, logged in with the other one, and I spent, you can level up to level 10 in a day, so I've been wandering around leveling up that, got home, and it turned out it said transfer 5 Pokemon, not trade, and that just means, they grind them up to be candy. No. I was like, oh, I could have done that anyway.
Shit, dude.
So now I have 2 accounts, so that's a thing. But anyway, it's still a good game, and I just wanted to end on a positive. Rather than being miserable about Umbrella Academy.
So does that mean that it is time for the email question time?
It is.
Good.
What's the email address, Wib?
It's onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
What's the email address again?
It's onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
And the third time's okay, no.
No.
Twice is too many.
Yeah, sorry. 5 times is way off.
Going through, as I always say, in no order apart from literally the order they come in. Tom Yule emailed in just to say, apparently you, Snipe, asked them all to ask me, how do I make my artisanal duck butter so creamy?
Okay, so off the bat, do not Google duck butter. Just don't. It is disgusting. But this comes from a stream where I was playing 40k on Tabletop Sim with Unity, and I started spelling milk with 2 C's instead of a K, which sounds fine, but looks disgusting if you write it down. And then somehow it's because I had the Duck Gang, because I had my Walker army, which were just Dreadnoughts and an Imperial Knight, and I was like, they waddle like ducks. And then Duck Milk was started.
It was a whole thing.
Duck
basically.
with 2 C's, milk with 2 C's. And then I think it was Shayna's in chat Googled duck milk and came up with like the Urban Dictionary thing, and there was like duck butter as well, and it's disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, I have looked this up before because there's a film called Duck Butter.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Which I was interested because it was written and directed by one of the actors from Arrested Development.
Okay.
So I was just checking out what else she'd done, and I was like, oh, she's made a new film. It's called Duck Butter. That's a weird word. I wonder what that means.
Don't. But yeah. So how do you make your artisanal duck butter?
I don't know. It's just, if you eat a lot of creamy stuff yourself and eat a lot of pineapple, I've heard is quite useful. It just makes it quite creamy.
Tangy. Bit of tang in there.
Okay.
Oh, well, thank you for the question, Thumbnail.
Moving on from that, I like this one. Captain Machine. Apparently, they heard that you can't have the same character 3 times for a fuck, marry, kill. So they literally just took that as a challenge.
Right.
So we have a fuck, marry, kill between Venom, and Venom.
Oh, this is a
being
difficult one.
Eddie Brock Venom, Flash Thompson Venom, and Gwen Stacy Venom.
Okay, so I'm gonna marry Gwen Stacy. I'm gonna marry Gwenum.
Yeah, Gwenum.
Gwenum for the name definitely wins.
Yeah. And I'm gonna fuck Eddie Brock because
it's the classic.
He's a classic, and I'm gonna kill Flash Thompson because I don't like him.
Yeah, I'd go for the same actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Drama. What about you?
I would literally go for the same, but my reason is slightly different because I want to do a big kissing with Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy is. I mean, I don't know if the film's any good.
I've heard it's fucking shocking.
Yeah, I've not heard great things.
People seem to be quite endeared to it because it seems to be quite bad. It's good.
I genuinely want to see it. It's supposed to be that level of like just fucking bad decisions. I genuinely want to watch it.
Yeah, and I can just sit and drool over Tom Hardy.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a good looking chap.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's a cool guy.
He's not 100% my type, but I can see the appeal.
Next up, Blood with Koji. We have some more fuck, marry, kills.
Cool.
We have one for each of us.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So, Snipe.
Yes.
Bran Redmore.
Oof.
Fulgrim.
Oh.
And it's probably not pronounced like this, but I'm going to call him Nigel Stormcaller.
No, because I have a Worgen priest called Najal or Nial, and you keep when we were playing WoW together, you'd be like, "Oh, do you want to go raid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I might bring an alt though." And you were like, "Oh, are you bringing Nige?" And I'd get angry at you every time, and you would make fun of me so much. So it's fine.
So Redmore, Niall, or Fulgrim.
Okay,
Fulgrim,
so Fulgrim, I mean...
Demon or his 30k version. You can choose.
Okay, so...
He's got a big old snake body later on in his demon form.
Oh, he could coil that body around me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sensually snake-like.
I'm gonna fuck Snake Fulgrim.
Okay.
I'm not gonna kill one of the other two. I'm just gonna ignore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, ignore Niall. And I'm going to marry Redmore because that was Wibb's character's name when we were playing WoW.
My Worgen druid was called Redmore, yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, Wib.
Hello.
Corvus Corax. Nikona Sharokin. And Boss Snickrot.
I will say my favourite part about Nikona Sharokin is the fact that they just hate the letter I. And
so much.
I respect that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think I've got to kill Snickrot.
Someone has to.
Because he's a sneaky orc, and sneaky orcs just aren't cricket. You should be yelling in your enemy's face the whole time. Mm-hmm. I say that as if I don't
have a goth army.
I don't have a goth army. That I literally have a small group of commandos that I use just to annoy. Mm-hmm. So I think I'll fuck Nikona or Nikona. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce
Nikona.
it. Mostly because his armor seems to have the design of Raven Guard armor that I fucking love from Forge World.
Yeah, you are a bit of an easy mark for that kind of thing.
Where it's got the stripe down the center of the pauldron with the bolts holding it in place like studs. I just fucking love that design. I haven't actually read any of the stories involving him, so I don't know how he is as a character. Although I'm looking at the Lexicanum entry, it says that he once shot a Primarch in the head with a sniper rifle. So that's pretty cool.
And survive.
Well, yeah, and survive. He is going to be overshadowed by big emo Birdman, Corvus.
Corvus, you are weak.
Who, I have read Deliverance Lost, and whilst he does have his super emo, I'm gonna let my wounds bleed. He is a cool chap, and he's one of the more human Primarchs.
I will say I don't like how he looks like Nathan Explosion with like a fringe.
He does
with
a bit.
like a razor straight fringe.
He does a bit. So yeah, I'm going to marry Corvus.
Oh, take a shot, by the way. Deliverance Lost is written by Gav Thorpe.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah,
the honor, the honorful man here. That sounds like I'm being really No, I think Gav Thorpe's a really cool guy.
Yeah,
like legit, I think he's great.
Yeah. That would be it. So kill Sneercrot. Fuck the other guy. Nakona. Oh, I forget the name of.
Marry Corvus.
Marry Corvus. There we go.
All right.
Do you think he calls during sex?
Only.
You just start screaming.
Only at the point of orgasm.
Do you think he stamps on people and pecks them?
And for half an hour afterwards.
Half an hour after.
It's like, yeah, we get it. Can we just...
Oh, dude, fuck's sake. Okay. He's not much for the aftercare department.
What's yours, Matt?
All right. Mine is Ferrus Manus,
Okay.
Ooh.
Pedro Cantor, and Sister Verity.
I'm thinking of like sleeping with like Ferrus Manus, and he'd just be like, he'd be pounding away at you, going, "Oh, weak, not good enough." He'd just be like negging you the whole time.
Okay, well, my logic on this one.
Yeah.
So, apparently Sister Verity's from the Sisters of Battle Omnibus, but I haven't read anything about that, and I tried to look her up online, and she has basically no information about her. So I'm just going to have to kill her off.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She might be cool, but I don't know anything. Yeah, I'll ignore her, and if she dies, I won't know. So then the other two. My first instinct was to decide between whether I like hands or fists.
What do you prefer, Matt?
Cold hands or fiery fists?
To be fair, those cold hands would be really strong.
But, well, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, actually, you know what? Actually, rather than just judging them by what chapter they belong to, I'll look it up. And yeah, Manus, blacksmith. He's going to have big, strong arms.
He's really strong arms.
He's going to be good for a fuck. And Pedro Cantor, strong sense of honour. Like, he's an honourable dude. I feel like that's better married material.
Yeah, I get that. No, I'd say so.
So I'm going to go that way round. Fuck Ferrus, marry Pedro, and sorry, Sister Verity, but I don't know you. You are not my purse. I do not know you.
She is not your purse. That's not how I expected that meme to come up today. But here we go.
Always with the relevant content. Next up, Nerdius Maximus, a question for presumably you two more than me. Can we get any painting streams?
Maybe.
Do we mean as in painting Warhammer miniatures?
Presumably, yes.
I would feel that that's probably it.
At some point, probably, but generally speaking, I tend to find them a little stressful. And I don't actually get much done when doing them. I kind of prefer to paint on my own time, especially now that I'm doing the thing on my side channel where I post.
Well, how are you getting on with your models this year?
This month.
This month, I guess.
I have finished 3 of them, one of which is a tank, so, that's a bit of a bigger thing.
Does that count for 2, or is that still one
model?
No,
it's still 1.
Okay.
Still say that's pretty dang impressive. There's a lot of surface area to cover.
The last one I need to finish, because obviously this is a short month, and there is another thing I've painted, but that's a secret, and I can't tell anyone about it.
It's a dildo.
It's not a dildo. But the 4th one that will be shown off, I am just about to finish the backpack on it. It's a Space Marine.
Little rogue trader.
Yeah, it's a little rogue trader Beaky. I've just got to finish his backpack, and then he's done, and then my 4 are done, and then I'll probably record the stuff, because even though the end of the month isn't here yet, I get ahead of them a little bit, just for simplicity.
Yeah.
You've been doing really well. I'm super proud of you.
So yeah, the 4 I need that should be done are nearly done, and thank you for your pride. Thank you. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to, at the end of each episode, I'm going to basically lay out all of the miniatures that I've painted that year, because you do remember in Smash Brothers Melee you'd have the trophies and you'd have the table full of trophies.
I remember in Resident Evil 4 you had the Gacha boys.
I don't know what that is, so I can't state whether it's remotely similar to what I'm talking about.
Well, you pressed a button on them and they said something. I think I can't remember.
Could you put them all on a table and see them all?
No.
Then it's not what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
Just put them all at a table and slowly have a bit of a wank.
No.
What's the point then?
Okay, I'm just going to get to my point because it's a really small point. Yes, that could be taken as a penile joke. Anyway, like in Smash Brothers Melee, where you unlock the trophies and then you could look at them all on a table, and that collection gradually increases, and it was like having a physical collection. It made you realise how many you had. It was cool. I don't know if that was in the latest Smash Brothers. I can't remember. But I'm basically going to do that at the end of each episode to show everything I've painted in the year, so that'll obviously gradually increase.
That's a really cool idea.
So I'll be up to 9 by the end of this month. That is if I don't quickly paint something in the intervening time between when I start recording stuff.
Which, knowing you, that's the real possibility.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. But anyway, that's going well. Good. So if you want to see what I have been painting, it's on my side channel, which is Wib Does Stuff. But as streams,
it's not as sexy a channel as you'd hope it would be.
No. I don't literally do stuff.
Not yet. We need to figure out how to get around YouTube first.
Oh well, that'll be on my my YouPorn,
Vimeo.
Well, to be fair, Pornhub has started basically saying, "Hey, creators, come over to us. We won't fucking copyright strike you like dickheads." And I'm like, from what I've seen, as far as corporations go, YouPorn's pretty decent, so...
Not as bad.
It's like Pornhub, sorry. I don't know, fucking porn sites. It might shock you to know...
Pornhub is the one that does all the weird marketing
That's
stuff.
where Richard Creamer, I think his name is Richard Creamer. You will have seen this guy, where it's this guy got verified on Pornhub, and he literally just does things like... platonic kiss on the forehead compilations, or I tuck you in and make sure you're well hydrated after you've come.
Yeah, it's a
It's
whole
really
thing.
sweet. They sent him a jacket, so it's got Creamer 69 because that's actually his last name.
But yeah, so just to I know this is dangerous, but to pull us back to the point. They're I'm not saying we won't do paint streams every now and again, but
they're not going to be super common because they are quite stressful.
I personally find them quite awkward to do, and
people will understand that. I think.
Yeah,
that's fair. Okay, next up, Acidus.
Hello.
In case you didn't see it, here is a genuine reason to be positive about the future.
Okay. I'm listening for this.
Sea turtles numbers have increased by 980%.
Dude, that's fucking rad.
They're doing good, the little guys.
Oh, I'm glad. I like turtles.
Turtles are good.
They're adorable.
They're lovely boys.
Many percents.
That's great.
Oh,
that
is
makes
good
me
to
very
know.
happy.
Yeah.
This is important news that we all need to know and share. And I say that without any tint of sarcasm.
No,
no,
legit. That's super nice to hear. That makes me happy because all you see is doom and gloom and fucking horror.
I mean, for good reason, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be reminded that there's good stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly.
They also sent through a dog picture. So a family friend got a new puppy who just happens to be his dog's little brother. So there's some adorable puppy pictures, which I may or may not put on Twitter if I remember. But I'm aware that I often say I will and then don't. So sorry.
I'll text you on Monday and be like, "Bonch, that is a super cute little puppy.
That is a very good puppy.
That's a very good
There's
puppy.
There's one picture where it's looking quite cute and another where it's looking manic almost.
That's just puppies have two speeds, which is asleep or fucking freaking out.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. On the topic of dogs, by the way, I told you guys that my brother's got a new puppy.
Yes.
He's a French bulldog, and he's on the Instagram. As much as I don't approve of animals and pets having their own Instagram, This dog is adorable. And I'm not sure whether I'd follow my brother on Instagram, but I have followed this dog.
You're not sure if you'd follow your brother? Right,
I'm mostly joking. Cool. Yeah, I don't. I have an Instagram, but mostly to follow other people. I think I've posted like 4 pictures on there. Anyway, if anyone wants to see adorable puppy pictures, Odin Webb on Instagram. That's what you want to check out.
Webb with 2 B's.
Yes, Odin as in the best dog name ever. It's amazing for this dog who's like
I'd say
hand-sized.
I'd say Carjack is a really good name for a dog.
Carjack.
Yeah, it's like either you give them superhuman, like super boring human names, or you give them stuff names like oh fuck, like Printer.
That's a good dog name. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh no, Printer got into the garbage again, or fucking Kevin ate my shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
There's
pretty
like
good.
those are the 2 names you should call your pets.
Yeah. Odin's pretty good though. I like that.
Like one of the members of Steam Powered Giraffe, Bunny Bennett, she has a cat called Sandwiches. Sandwiches, and that cat is a derpy floof, and I like him very much.
Amazing. Last up, Jack. A fuck, marry, kill.
Cool.
Okay.
I think we may have had at least 1 or 2 of these before, but possibly not in this configuration. So.
Okay.
Logan Grimnar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Asriel.
Yeah.
Mephiston.
Okay.
I'm
gonna marry Logan Grimnar straight away
I think
because duh.
I think we should kill Mephiston because he's just
A dick.
badly written.
Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, I'll kill Mephiston too, and then I'll.
If I had to fuck or marry him, I just every time I was like doing the sexy things with him, I'd be singing like down, down, down on Mephiston or something, and it just it would not get old. But purely on that angle, I feel like I'm gonna have to kill him.
Okay, so we're going to kill Mephiston, and I'm happy to marry Logan Grimnar because he's good.
I'd
he's a
be
good chap.
happy. He's like he'll have like all the best stories.
Good
and kind of
arms
stuff.
for hugging.
Good arms for hugging, and he could like get you really nice beer, and he knows all the best like blacksmiths to make really good axes and stuff. So I think he'd just be a fun guy to be married to.
Yeah. So it looks like we're fucking Azrael.
Yeah, I don't think I could deal with being married to him anyway. He's too sneaky and like he'll do things behind your back and
like the thing is, he'd be like sneaky for no reason.
Yeah,
like, he'd go out and get milk, and then you'd be like, hey, where you been? And he'd be like, nowhere. And you're like, why are you gonna get so fucking weird about it?
And then you'd go out and get milk. You'd get back and you'd have like too much milk and it'd go off and it's.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, why didn't you went out for milk earlier? It's like,
and if you really enjoyed it, and like, I feel that he'd probably like put you under some like intense questioning as to why you went out and got milk, and he'd bring in like his mate who's an interrogator, and
and then you'd be like in the interrogation
and
room,
Asmodee's
like,
sitting in the corner just yelling into a pillow,
just screaming, and you'd be like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's all great for a fuck, but not for more than a few days or whatever. Yeah.
Just God, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, there we go. So there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. And that is our questions done.
Cool.
Good. Okay. Cool. I have got one little thing to mention before we wrap up that I just wanted to say.
Okay.
Because I, as well as the thing that was mentioned earlier about me putting up things on my side channel where I am showing off what I'm painting throughout the year. Also, because I'm a trash person that wanted to make a bunch of non-content. I recorded a shitload of videos of me building small Lego kits the other day. And I put...
Lego or not Lego?
Well, okay, the other ones are Lego. I
good.
Recorded.
Because it freaked me out a bit, your not Lego one.
Yeah, I put up one the other day that is of a not Lego kit, of a block tech kit
whatever
from
it was,
like
it was
Poundland,
shit.
and it was shit.
It was shit.
But if you enjoy watching someone just build a Lego kit for like 10 minutes... then go over to Wib Does Stuff. A few more of those will be going up soon. I'm not sure what schedule I'll be putting those up at. If people watch them, then that justifies me going out and buying really cheap shit knockoff Lego kits and then building them. And really, I need people to enable me on this. Because I want to do it anyway. And if more than like 50 people care, then that basically allows me to do it and justify it. So go do that for me, please. Go over to Wib Does Stuff. It's a YouTube channel.
Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell.
I also secretly...
Send him pictures of...
Lego.
My
My goal for this year with putting up stuff on it more consistently is I want to get that little channel over 1,000 subs. I know that's like next to nothing, but like
I'm working on a bunch of stuff now. I've got 2 scripts I'm working on right now for my channel.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to go anywhere because I have an immense fear of completing tasks because that means it might suck. You ain't special. Doing things like a functional adult made me fucking sick. But yeah, check MySpace. Wib does stuff.
Check Bebo.
Check my MySpace.
Vampire Freaks.
I actually did have a Vampire Freaks account, but not because I wanted one. Because a guy at college basically like browbeat me into getting one. And then he was like, all the girls send me sexy pictures. And I was like, no. Yeah, I didn't really talk to him much after that.
Yeah, understandable. Shall we end this hallucinatory nightmare that is a podcast?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. If you've got any more questions or who we should do a fuck, a marry, or a kill on, or / ignore, because we're not that harsh, or any other stupid things like...
If someone wants my fucking Just Cause copy... Goddamn email.
Please email onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com. Please, he needs this taken off his hands.
Please, for just one email at any time, you can take this weight off this young man's mind.
This burden
that he must carry of owning an extra copy of a game he doesn't want.
He doesn't like much.
And it isn't very good.
Yeah.
It will cost you nothing but to send an email saying, "Just cause give, please."
What you should do is, if you're sending
if you spell anything right, that is a bonus. Literally, just what... Somebody take it off.
Don't just write those words in the subject line, though, because as previously mentioned, I won't notice that you've asked for it.
So, like, if everyone could just end their email with... I would like your Just Cause now because, and then in 50 words or less, explain why Drummer deserves happiness.
At this point, honestly, I think give Just Cause now would be enough.
If it's just please give, like just Kaz. Like, it doesn't matter.
As long as you can work out what it's supposed to say, it doesn't have to be right.
We don't care. Just take... He needs to sleep.
I can't believe it's so hard to give away something for free.
Maybe that's just a testament of how bad the fucking game actually is. Anyway, I've been Snipe. He's been Wib. Say bye.
Bye.
And he's been Drummer Matt.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, and goodbye.